Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me for the Knowing You show. I love serving our empathic, sensitive, intuitive, spiritual folks in our community and giving everyone a chance to know one another, learn more about each other, to be inspired by one another as well. And today we have Natalie Bushnell. She and I met a couple years ago at a JV workshop, and we clicked and resonated with one another. And I wanted to invite Natalie to the show. So thanks, Nat.
Thanks, Tiff.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, so I am that's really kind of like where I'm at in my life. My life has become so magical that I grow so fast that I don't really have a label anymore. Does that make sense? Just like, but I'm honored to be here. I am I've been on my spiritual journey for about 17 years. I was raised polygamous, very religious. I went through a lot of trauma and pain in life. And I learned how to connect to a higher power. And it was always kind of innately in me. I mean, even as a small child, I would like sit there and talk to this guy in my head all the time. And you can call that like a imaginary friend, a spiritual guide. I don't know. He just was always with me, and he was always talking to me, and he was always guiding me, and he was always empowering me to be my best self and to challenge myself and to not allow my victim to pull me down. And it wasn't like I wasn't carrying a huge victim. Okay, I was definitely carrying a huge victim, but it was like this exponential weight that I was constantly carrying, but constantly had this voice that was guiding me, instructing me, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this. And I was raised in this polygamous culture, and I loved these people. There's some really incredible, beautiful people in so many different cultures that humanity judges and doesn't really comprehend or understand. And I grew from there. But it also gave me a lot of things that, as I awoke into my spiritual journey, no longer served me. And I had to start wiping away that. And that's the death of your old self. And it's incredibly challenging and painful at times. But if you keep going, it becomes addicting. And it's like this, whoa, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? And you get so deep into who you are that you're like, oh my gosh, whoa. And then when you get to feel yourself at that depth, that space of nothingness, and that void, you suddenly start being able to manifest everything you want, everything you actually desire, and you become your new self. You rebirth yourself. You release your old programs, your old patterns, your old beliefs, your own ways of doing things, and you become this new you. And it's just the most incredible journey. And suddenly
Sweetie, we
come on
lost
the
your
Garden of
audio.
Eden.
Okay, there you
You
go.
become, you suddenly are like in this Garden of Eden. And it's like everything in your life is here to serve you and feed you and give to you and open you up to your higher divine self. It is like the most incredible, empowering journey of your life. And suddenly it's not about you anymore. You become everyone and everything. And you infuse yourself so deeply that you start noticing like the things in your life that you're like, oh my gosh, I am so freaking sorry. And you just start apologizing to everything and everyone. And you are begging your children for forgiveness. And you are begging your partner. And you're begging everyone. And you're like, I did not know who I was. I am so, so sorry. And you go through this depths of like grief and fear and challenging everything. But you stand in your light and you don't run this time. And you just face it and you just go, go until you're into the state of so much gratitude an
Mhm.
appreciation for life itself, the miracle of life. You start touching everything because it now has soul. It now has purpose. There's no more judgment. It is like, oh my gosh, I am so grateful. I am so grateful. So grateful for this picture and for this table and for this Tiffany. I am you and you are me. You guys, do you know who this woman is? It's like, whoa! Oh my goodness. Like it's like I see you. And I see you because I see me. And it's like there is no words. Like, how can you label yourself at this point? It's like you are everything. And you finally see it when you're like, and I don't need to be nothing. I'm okay with that. And you give up that ego. And suddenly you rise to this place where it's so incredibly inspiring and powerful just to be alive that magic starts to happen. And you
I
start
love
reinventing your entire life. So I don't
right.
even know anymore.
I love the space of nothingness and just being empty. You know, that's to me when I feel God the strongest because that's all there is, you know? So I appreciate that space and I welcome that space. And when did you start your transformation journey and awakening?
It did start about 17 years ago. So it was a huge transition from like a very religious culture. I was raised extreme modesty, extreme purity, so much like insane, like I don't know, it was like being an angel on earth, to be honest. Like I didn't even sin. Like it was like I couldn't, right? I was just seriously like this freaking angel. But at the same time, there was a little bit of ego in that. And it's this judgment of darkness and light that we're birthed into, this duality. And I would like have this bounce back about it started happening. I guess I started really spiritually waking around 17 is when weird things started happening, but I didn't really come conscious of it until 22, if that makes sense. But it's this incredible, like suddenly, like your perfect reality is destroyed because I was really in my own paradise. I was a polygamist, but I was so happy. I was so utterly happy every freaking moment. And then God's like, oh, by the way, I need you. And boom, you're hit like totally sideways. And your life just goes through this epic dark night of the soul. And you're like, what the hell? Right? And it complete flips you on the other side. And suddenly you're this like new spiritual being that like does everything the religion says is sinful. And you become like the thought of a witch. And you go through all of these dark concepts. And you realize, no, that's not what a witch is. I don't have a mean bone in my body. What do you mean I'm Lucifer? You know, and you start challenging all of these concepts that darkness and light have fed us for who knows, like infinities, who knows, right? And you start to become something else. And you merge into the space of duality, but it's unity. It's the concept of duality and unity, almost like the pyramid. And
And
that is when you reach the point of knowing.
and do you feel like this is your definition of spiritual awakening?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. This is another thing I want to bring about. Okay. So, as we're all creating our realities, we're becoming gods within our own perspectives, right? And each one is perfectly valid. Each one is absolutely true to that person. Does that make sense? And we think that we need to make people believe like us or change like this or shift or whatever. But the truth is when they become all themselves, it's like, oh my gosh, can I talk to you about your perspective? Because I'm having an issue here and I need a sister who can give me a better perspective that may help me shift my own knowing into my own truth. But it comes from other perspectives. Sorry.
And what do you think, given that we've got a lot of stuff happening in our world today, right? Things are happening with the pandemic, with the economy, with, people's emotions and physical bodies. I mean, there's just been a lot. So what do you think could be the best advice that you could give to help people during times like this?
Okay. So glad you asked this. Okay. So we're going to teach them how to manifest their new life. Okay. We don't have a lot of time anymore. Like we're getting down to the crunches. Okay. So, gosh, this is a big one. Okay. Because everybody's perspectives are different and they're all in different realities for a reason. And they're all in different frequencies for a reason. So the one thing, and we all know it, okay, we're all told it, we're told it, but it's the deeper practicing of it, which is the ritual of knowing. And when you know, then you become, okay? And we need to become better. We need to become an elevated planet. We're being crunched because we're being forced to evolve. It's do or die right now, okay? So the wonderful thing is, what if there's the perspective of everything is actually here to support you, not destroy you? Okay. So instead of fighting the system, you learn how to surrender. Okay. You learn how to surrender, but not in like giving up your freedom rights and things like that. I'm not talking about that kind of surrender. I'm not talking about be stupid. I'm talking about becoming fully conscious of who you are and why you're here and why you manifested everything in your life. Full accountability, which is the full death of the ego. Like it is like, oh, whoa, thank you. Oh, that would have been that. Whoa, thank you. And you just start so like asking for divine thank yous and gratitudes and just forcing that just down and you just get past all of your ego and all that you've been told and just releasing all of that. And you come back to that state of oneness and you go, whoa, I am everyone. I am everything. And this is my full soul. This is fully my soul here. And everything's a part of that. And we learn to love ourselves so we can love everything around us, right? And we start to touch everything and we give it back its soul because we have been told only humans have souls. And yet we've done studies now to discover animals have souls. Did you know they used to, I think there was like races that they didn't believe actually had souls because they had another color of skin. I mean, this is how degenerated we had become, that we had forgotten empathy and compassion. Like we were simply like so survival, we didn't think about other things. Does that make sense? And that's a very carnal thing. That's your reptilian side, right? That's your T-Rex and your animalistic, what do I need to do to survive? And here's the thing, I'm not judging it. It actually preserves us. Does that make sense? That's why we're such an incredible human race, because we've learned how to adapt and survive in so many different environments, in so many different circumstances, that we are like the most scary freaking virus to the galaxy. They're like, if we do not harmonize these people in a healthy way and let them help them work like a beehive. And that's what I love about you, Tiffany, is because you understand this concept. We have to start working together and start having so much gratitude and appreciation for each other's differences and gifts, and start doing the same with everything on this planet and stop being the hierarchy and become all of it. I am this and I am all of this. There's pedophiles. I am, right? Because I've been there somewhere in some lifetime, in some existence, some energy field. And I'm up here doing everything I can to make it right with the world, right? I live my purpose every day. I am. This is alchemy. And when we start stepping into our knowing and we start, I am this and I will live my highest and best truth because I understand who I am over there and I will align with that and I will drive with that. We start lifting mountains for people. We start lifting mountains for this world and we don't even need the credit. And that's why we become so powerful.
And do you have a prayer or a couple minutes of just guiding us into oneness that you can offer?
Absolutely. Would you prefer this to be in a light language or in English?
Dealer's choice.
I need to tell you about something with my language. It's not known for many of your galaxies, okay? So I do not need them to understand. They can feel it, but I will interpret anything they would like me to tell them later, okay? Okay, they said yes. They said we will provide divine protection for those who connect with their heart chakras with us at this time, as this is like a virus spreading, but it only spreads to those who choose the divine. We will unlock pathways and remove energy blocks that cause, it feels like fear and pain in one's life, so that you can open up to the fullness of who and what you are. We will embody the divine spirit within you, and we will show you your own divine path, as yours is uniquely like a snowflake made for you. This is why we have no judgment, only unity, because each one of you is the perfect chrysalis for perfection in our spectrums. They said we're removing higher self from this body so we can ascend it even higher for all of you at this time. So I ended up having a little bit of fear because I didn't know if some of your people were ready for this. So I'm just going to remove that fear real quick from my system so that those that do want to receive this can without any of my own fears in the way. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
One moment, please. So this is Natalie. This is when they start to birth it back into the physical for you, okay? So they create it astrally, and then they'll use my body and other light beings like me across the planet to birth these manifestations in for you. I am not the only one. We have gotten smarter and learned to duplicate ourselves all throughout humanity now. And that is why darkness is now having to come forward, because we are here to help clear and shift it all into a state of acceptance, forgiveness, and love. Not saying that those that did not do things that were negative would be held accountable. That is absolutely necessary and part of the divine plan. For instance, when a spirit has gone through so much darkness and it needs a lot of purity, we will sometimes push its soul into like a turtle. And there it is in a state of peace for, let's say, 110 years or longer. And that way the soul has a lot faster way of healing and shifting because it's in that perfect state of peace. So instead of going to hell, we simply give it a vessel where it can be in peace, not to mean it's not going to have fear. And so in the beginning of a turtle's life, it is fed upon and it is terrified, right? And we push it forward with terror so that it is forced to grow and expand, right? And this would be symbolic of what kind of the darkness does for light sometimes. And this becomes so horrific that humanity is like, why have we not known about this? And yet they close their eyes to the fact that they've been doing this to their own animals, to themselves, to their children, to society, to this earth, to this planet. And this darkness is symbolic of how forgetful they have become and how ungrateful they have become. And it's a really kind of interesting balance. And so we stop needing to be the judge and we go, okay, the divine, I need you. Please come in. Please provide your armies, your guards, your aliens, your grays, your all of these beings. We need all of their perceptions. We need to work together on this, and we need to ascend humanity. How can we do it in the highest and best good of this planet? And we start to gather and collect our tribes, and we start to become one, and we start to harmonize, and we start to grow, and we start to have gratitude and appreciation. And we attract things like COVID to say, come on, people, you're abusing the system and you're not having gratitude for it. Like that is your prayer.
Do you think that if we all shifted into gratitude and be willing to connect with our higher soul and God, that it could just dissipate the pandemic and the various tragedies in the world?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why people need to start realizing everything happens for a reason. Even a pandemic like this, even if darkness is the one that was trying to cause war and hatred and fighting and all these things, what if there is still a higher plan? That what if sometimes we need catastrophe to waken us to the fact that we have forgotten. We have forgotten to be grateful. We have forgotten to realize, even though we once believed in gods and then we found out we are gods, that we still need to understand there is still a hierarchy of gods. And they are all here to help us ascend into our highest state. They've been here, they've done that. Stop having this ego that everything is bad once you spiritually awaken, that is government or this or this or this or this, and ascend into the governments and the people and the spirits and the guides and the ascended masters and the other aspects of yourself. They're here to actually help. You're not alone. You don't have to do it alone anymore. Not one of us is alone. We
No,
are
we're
all
not.
divinely protected if we choose to accept their help.
Mm-hmm.
But
That, I've felt extremely protected during this time. Like, even though, yes, there's a lot of darkness and chaos and crisis happening globally, I feel like it has been such a blessing to just love God more and to know that I'm protected and safe and prosperity is coming to me. I'm busier now with healing sessions than I've been in probably ever, So there's something about this time that I think is quite a gift. And thank you for sharing your insights on that. And I want to ask you, Natalie, do you have an evergreen gift that people can receive after, this video is over and they can connect with you and get exposure to you beyond this?
so this is my gift. This is Goddess is pulling this in really fully. This is why I don't like to like give gifts before. Does that make sense? Because she makes them very specific. Okay. And she knows why. And it always has a reason for pushing somebody to their next self. Okay. So she actually says this video is a gift, and she's asking your viewers to proceed to send it out because this is a seed for them. This is actually a gift. This is going to help humanity as a whole. And we get to choose to believe that because there are no guarantees. If we never take action, how will we ever succeed? Newsflash!
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so your viewers are welcome to share this video. The reason why I want to do this too is I would like to honor you. I want to talk to you about who you really are in a way that your listeners can still consciously accept it. Does that make sense? Because I have to tune into your station and find out what is best for your tribe and your people, because it is not about me. It is not about what I want. It is about what is best for you. Okay? Let's see. So we're going to close a couple doors that I was really excited to share. And we're going to make this a little bit more custom. Okay. Yes, it's getting thunder. Oh, lots of energy. One moment, please. Yeah, that one's landing. Okay. If you didn't see that manifestation, I apologize, but it's a big one. Okay. But again, it all comes down to believing that those witches aren't all bad, okay? And believing a little bit of magic, okay? So this is what they want to play a game, but they also want your perspective, because what they want people to know about you is you are just this, okay, like you are pulling both sides of this world, like, woo! Does that make sense? Like you've taken the spiritual and the business side of this, and you're just like, okay, guys, I'm doing this. I'm doing it. You're just going full flight. Like you died. Oh,
I'm an all-in kind of girl.
Like, get out of my way! I'm coming. You're like this soldier that's like, I'm pulling the masses, people, whether they like it or not.
No, I'm an invitation, honey. I won't pull anybody.
I'm talking about your darkness, okay? Your darkness. It's still there. It's a beautiful thing. It's like, I know who I am, but I'm going to hide me because I'm going to pull them. Does that make sense? It's a beautiful gift. Not bad. Totally free will. Totally free will. They don't even know it's coming. That's the cool thing about being your darkness too, because you become an agent. And you're like, I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it. And I'm never going to stop because it's worth it. And it's because you transmute all of that darkness into light. And it's just like, hey, so, one moment, please.
It's been 1 hour, you said.
It has. I owe you an extra $5. I just would like you to know I've had to pay for this appointment. So y'all are welcome. I'm a mom. Okay, it's great. It's great. I love being a mom. Okay, anyways, you had a question.
No, we actually need to wrap it up, honey.
Oh.
So, yeah. So what's the best way for people to get in touch with you?
Through you. So here's the gift. They share this video, let's say with 10 people, okay? They get to let you know, and you get to make a pick of them, okay? So I would like them to share this video as many times as possible. And I don't even know how, this is why you need your perspective. I don't even know how this is going to work. But you're going to share this video and seed it out as much as possible. And then you're going to select 5 people for me. And I can pick whoever I want, okay, from those 5. But you get to pick the 5 because I'm looking for something specific and I can't tell you what right now. It's secret, top-notch information. But what I'm doing, okay, is I'm manifesting the best right now. I'm like, I need a job done and I need the best. And I'm calling you in because I want to become your best friend, okay? I don't want just one appointment with you. I would like to co-create with you, okay? So you are to select 5 people. You can also be one of those people if you like. But here's the thing is those 5 people will also have their partners there because I'm also looking for a combination of both singles and couples. Does that make sense? And from those people, I will select 2 that I will give a miracle to.
All right. So you heard Natalie. If that is of interest to you, share it. Share this video and reach out to me. Thank you so much, Natalie, for being here with us today. I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time. I know you're in the middle of a house remodel and that can be a little wonky.
It's an upgrade.
So thank
Everything
you.
is upgrading.
Yes, indeed. I love that about life. It gives us chances to upgrade internally and externally. So, as we wrap up here for the Knowing You show, if you are in my empathic, spiritual, intuitive community and you have a message, something inspiring personally or professionally that's happening in your life, or a gift you want to give to this world, connect with me and we will, get you on the show. Right now it's booked out until sometime in September. And yeah, would love to serve you and be with you and connect with you and continue to let us all grow and learn from one another. So thank you again, and we'll say bye-bye to Natalie, and thank you again.
I love you. I love,
Love you
you.
too.
I love you. I love you.
Bye-bye.